Hey, what's up? It's your boy 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media. And I'd like to say what's up to everybody out there. Hopefully everyone's having a great day so far. I know it's Tuesday. Everybody's a little sluggish after over the nice 3-day weekend, but hopefully things will get to rolling from here on out. I'd like to give a shout out to my man Low Spec Linux Laptop. How's it going, brother? Hopefully everything's good with you. Says I thought I was going to be working this week, but it didn't happen. Sorry to hear that, brother. I know I will be heading to do a job here in 2 hours. So it's almost 2:30 here in Houston. So yeah, I'll be doing some demolition work. Good old trusty sledgehammer. You know how that shit goes, man. But wanted to at least show my face, be here, say what's up to everybody, and was hoping everybody at least had a decent weekend. But hopefully it picks up for you soon, brother. I mean, I know it's been slow, around my parts when it comes to construction and shit like that. But that kind of it comes with the territory from time to time. There's those slow points in the job, man. So, but I hope things pick up for you, and hopefully things will be smooth sailing. Aphacius, what's going on, brother? Hopefully everything's good with you, man. Says hi all. Appreciate that. Man, hopefully you've had a good weekend as well. Hopefully everybody's had a good weekend. Mine was all right. I definitely had some barbecue, had some baked beans, some dirty rice, some brisket, barbecue chicken. Even had some macaroni and cheese, even though I don't like macaroni and cheese. Even I had a little bit of that. Wasn't too bad. Facey said had barbecue today, not bad. Oh, that's cool, man. Damn, I wonder. Let me ask y'all, when it comes to barbecue, I know. See, like me, I used to, I used to cook in restaurants at one point. I learned, I became, an assistant manager over at Denny's, some years back. And one of the things about being in any kind of manager position, at Denny's, was that you had to learn how to cook the food. What happens if one day the chef gets sick and he doesn't come to work? You basically have to be the manager and be the chef. So I had to learn all the different departments of the restaurant. Of course, I started off being a waiter. I was very good at that. But then it was the whole managerial part, learning how to be a busboy, dishwasher, cook, and then still be the manager all at the same time. So, I learned how to cook, working at Denny's. I wasn't taught by my parents and then like that. It took for me to become the manager to learn how to cook. So I learned how to cook everything on the menu. And, the one thing I noticed when it comes to cooking was that, when people cook food and they season food while they're cooking it, some people find it offensive if after you finish cooking the meal and you present it for people to eat, if the first thing someone does is to grab like condiments, ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, barbecue sauce, and ends up, basically putting that on every part of the meal instead of just trying the meal for, as it is, before even people try anything, they have to drench it in some kind of condiment. And from what I understood was that a lot of people looked at that if you're a person that's in a, you know, some kind of chef, and as soon as you bring out the food, the first thing that the customer does is drench it all in condiments and you know, that kind of shit, the cook tends to get upset, you know, about that kind of thing, because it kind of takes away from the authenticity of the cooking when you sit there and you just basically douse everything in hot sauce and, you know, ketchup and barbecue sauce and mustard and all kind of condiments and stuff like that. So I guess my whole question to y'all is, do you prefer eating barbecue? You think it's better cooked with barbecue sauce on it and all that, you know, extra shit on top of your barbecue, or you think it's better cooked just, you know, after it's marinated, or, you know, when it's seasoned, you know, they throw it on the grill, they cook it, and then you eat it like that? Like, how do you prefer it, with the barbecue sauce cooked into it, or just barbecue straight up without the sauce? Me, I've had it both ways, you know, especially being out here in Texas, and I would prefer to eat it without the sauce myself. That way you can actually, you know, taste what real barbecues, you know, like, from the chef himself. And then after you try it, you know, he seasoned it, he cooked it, and then you try it and it still tastes like shit, then that's when the barbecue sauce comes. That's when I think is warranted, when the barbecue sauce at that point. I don't know, man. That's just me, man. But if it's, you know, there's barbecue out there that's so good, you don't need barbecue sauce. I mean, shit. My brother Hephaestus says I do a little of both. Uh, he says I do a little bit of both. Everybody's tastes are different. I make my own sauce, which caramelizes into the meat, but it wouldn't upset me either way. Right. I got you. Yeah, I can definitely dig that. Like I said, you know, some people get offended. Some people get offended by that shit, man. You know, I know every, you know, households are different. Um, huh. But you make a good point. You know, everybody's tastes are different. But, you know, it's I don't know. I always find that to be an interesting thing, man. Just, I don't know. This, the way people cook and the way people eat is always on a different level. So I wanted to say thank you all for being here. Appreciate that. You know, and you guys have been awesome to me, man. I'm thankful for every last one of y'all that come through and be showing the love, man. I'm very thankful. You know, I look, I wanted to ask y'all a couple questions. I know there's a few people watching, you know, but I was curious. Like, you know, just, you know, as you guys, you know, being my subscribers, you know, I had a question. Do you actually prefer like live streams over videos, or a little bit of both, or, you know, just kind of curious with Madness Comics Network? How's it going? Great to have you here. Facey says, love being here when I can, 24. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, I was just curious, like, you know, I'm always, you know, dropping videos. Says live streams are better for the fans. They can interact with the people on the shows. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that. So it's good to have to do both, a bit of both, as I can't always get to the live streams. Having the live interactions with you all is great. Yeah, I can agree. I appreciate that. Hephaestus says we have both recorded and live shows on the network. Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. I've seen that, man. You guys are killing it, man. Holy shit. But yeah, you know, and then thank you for the, you know, for your input on that. I prefer live. All right. Thank you, Low Spec. I appreciate that, man. You know, yeah, my bad about that. Had the alarm set. I didn't even forgot all about it. All right. But yeah, thank you for that. The live shows get more likes and interaction. Yeah, I can thank y'all. Yeah, that makes always figured that a good mix of both was always good. But some people actually prefer one thing over the other. And I've been on YouTube for a little over 3 years, and never really asked anybody what the subscribers what they actually enjoy or what they prefer to see, one way or the other. And I think it's always good, every now and then to ask everybody else what they thinks, instead of trying to, instead of thinking that you know what they like, it's always best to ask. That way you know for sure. So, but I appreciate, you guys' input. And then I had another question then. I was wondering, like, do you prefer to see like live streams more like in the morning? Oh, what's up, Psychodorf 9? How's it going, man? Driving home? I'll watch you on the replay. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I was curious to just put out another silly short video. You might enjoy it if you liked Car, Do It Yourself, and Thor. Yeah, man, of course, man. Definitely check that out, man. Thank you. Yeah, but I was what I was gonna ask was do you think it's better to see live streams like in the morning, afternoon, or in the evening? Just kind of curious to see what you all thought. I know sometimes midday it's a little harder for people because a lot of folks are at work. So I understand that. Facey says early morning or early evening for as later evening shows run my into the wee early hours in the UK. I got you. I see. So basically, with you being in the UK, if a live streams late at night, then it's usually running into the wee hours of the morning. I got you. So it's hard to this. So basically, the morning or early afternoon, huh? All right. Man, it says I just let the showrunner pick their time slot out of what's available. That makes a lot of sense too. So basically, anything that runs at 7 p.m. Central Time basically shows up at 1 a.m. UK time. Wow. All right, that makes a lot of a difference. It says we have 40 plus shows, so yeah, you definitely right. Weekly, yeah, you guys have a man shit. Boy, I'm telling you, man, that's you know what the. I don't know if you guys ever made a video that explains how red shirt, my man, how's it going, man? Hopefully you're doing well, man. Well, I miss streaming with you, brother. Definitely miss streaming with you, man. Hell, I was just talking to Rob this morning, seeing how he's doing. And man, I remember when we all used to get on the streams together, man. I miss that, man. Just another red shirt, my brother. Man, Madness Comic Networks. I was wondering how you I was wondering how you guys actually put together the programming to do it, you know, like that on a weekly basis. I wonder if you guys ever put out a video explaining how that works. If you do, man, please let me know, man. I'd love to see that, man. I think it's incredible, man, how you guys put together such a schedule, man. I seen it, man. I was like, oh shit, you guys are really you guys are doing it, man. I just, my question is how. That's, yeah, Ophacious, yeah, you're right, man. At Madness Comics, that's a full working week. Yeah, these guys, anytime you want to have me on, we can discuss the whole thing. You know what? I'll definitely take you up on that, man. He said it is a vision, huh? I believe it. I can see it, man. That's shit. I'd love to have you on, man. You know, and actually, yeah, that I would love to see how that works, man. That's amazing, man. Yeah, man. That's wow. Yeah, I would yeah, actually indie comics does not have the huge marketing behind them that Livestream does. I'm just trying to get people seen. You know what, man? That's a great thing, man. You know, there's a lot of people out there doing their own shit, man. You know, there's a lot of people out there doing their own thing, and you know, it's important that, you know, they get a chance, man. You know, especially, you know, a lot of these people, man, they're very, very talented artists, you know, comic book writers. And, you know, the thing that makes everybody different is always, you know, the budget, the push. You know, some people are trying to do this for the first time and they don't have a lot of eyes on them. And, you know, you'd be surprised, you know, we're all out here trying to do something on YouTube, and you don't even know how many people, you know, there's a lot of people in the same space, man. And sometimes it looks like folks get buried up under, you know, the masses of people that are doing the exact same thing and trying to be just as successful. You know, it's a grind, man. It's definitely a grind. Said Marvel and DC sell on the brand alone. Indies have to get that brand recognition somehow. Yeah, and like I say, it's a grind, man. It's definitely a fight. And you know, that, you know, and to be honest, you know, networking and rubbing elbows, man, definitely helps a lot. You know, it definitely does. So it's I know for sure that I definitely want to get, you know, some folks on and talk comics. And I know there's a lot of people trying to do their own material, and I would love to get a lot of indie creators on. And I'm working on trying to get one on now. Great gentleman, Elliot Rodriguez. He has a channel called Elliot Rodriguez Art, and you know, he's already worked on a comic book cover for another comic book. I'm gonna have him on to explain it. Hopefully, sometime in June, we can you know, actually get him on, you know, when time permits. And then he's actually working on his own comic book, and I would love to have him on so he can, you know, explain what he can explain and show what he can show. He's, you know, it's still a work in progress, but you know, I would love to have him on. It's, yeah, Elliot is a beast, man. He's damn good, man. Very damn good. He's a great guy, man. Great guy. You know, he does a lot of good shit, man. And if you guys haven't subscribed to him, check him out. Elliot Rodriguez Art. 3 words. and great dude, man. You check him out on Twitter. He's always posting his work, showing how he creates his thing, and he's also very helpful. You know, when he sits there and he does his art, he explains what he's doing, why he's doing it, and what kind of effect that he's trying to do it. And he'll also explain his technique and a few other things right along with it. And he's, like I say, he's all around great dude, man. So I can't wait to get him on. So he can explain everything in his own words, and you can hear it, straight from the man's mouth on what he's trying to do and what his vision is and what he's trying to put out there. So, and Twitter's where exactly, you know what? And I found his work on Twitter too, man. And when I seen it, I was like, yo, you're damn good. And he responded right back, and we've been back and forth. And, he ended up following me on Twitter, and he didn't even know I did videos until he saw like some of my videos posted. He was like, oh shit, you do videos too? I was like, yeah, man. I love, I love pop culture. I love comic books, comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, cartoons, you name it, man. I'm all in it, man. And so I'm there with you, man. I found him on Twitter myself. And like I say, he's a great guy, man. I was just tweeting him yesterday, man, DMing him back and forth, trying to figure out a good date and time. He's a very busy man. So time is precious, man. It's, I understand that. So he said, we'll definitely work on that. So I look forward to getting him on. Hopefully he can show us a thing or two. He's done a lot of great things, so I know he can show off quite a few stuff. But I definitely want to get into what he's actually working on for himself, and what he's doing. He's definitely working with other comic book writers and artists. He's like doing covers for for other characters and stuff, and that's some good shit. I'm actually working on a comic book myself, and I'm not even there with the art yet. I'm still writing the story, and man, shit. To be honest, I've been reading comic books for so long, and for all the comic books I've ever read, and I just read fucking Stargirl and JSA Jeff Johns comics just within the last week. It's I could read a comic book and it'll take me about maybe 30-40 minutes, and of course comic book doesn't take that long, but I'm not a speed reader. I like looking at the pictures, trying to see what I can see. Sometimes the comic book artist throws certain things in there that if you're just trying to speed read, you'll miss a lot of shit, just kind of combing through the comic book instead of actually sitting there reading it and looking at the pictures. And I'm sitting there and I'm reading, these comics, and I'm looking at the kind of story that Jeff Johns is putting into, writing these stories and, doing what he does. And I'm just looking at him and I'm like, wow, you got to have some kind of imagination to really create, some of this great shit that I'm reading. And the creativity part and making it all fit and work. That's when you got to know your shit, because anybody can write a story, but to make it fit, to make it work and have it to the point where somebody else wants to read it and read more of it. Yeah, man. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do, man. So working on my first one. And yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it. I can tell you that. I'm still in my first few pages. Actually, been working on it for the last few weeks, about 3-4 weeks. And I'm in my first I'm in the first 4 pages so far. But it's like always going back and see something that could be better. Wording, different things, yeah. So yeah, it's a lot harder than what you think it is just by reading it. Let's just put it like that. Madness Comic Network says the hunt for Easter eggs is real. Yeah, it is. And like I said, if you if you look over it real fast, you won't catch it. You won't catch it. So it's very interesting. It's, I definitely I definitely enjoy everything about comic books. Now it has me in a position where I definitely want to write one. So, and I will. Man. So let me just curious to ask, is anybody collecting like current day comics right now? Or is stuff that's already have come out, like, older comics? Anybody into anything current? Or do you think the older comics is where it's at? So just curious to see what anybody thinks. I think comic books are in a real funny they're in a real funny position, weird position right now. Yeah. And I'm curious to see which way they roll at this point. I love older Marvel and the indie scene today. I got you. Yeah, the thing about the indie scene that I noticed is that that's where a lot of your old DC and Marvel creators have went. It's like it's funny how the people that are still alive that written comic books 30, 40 years ago, 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Some of them still alive right now and still could write. Some could still draw, ink, and shit like that. But none of the big two or the big 3 or 4, you can throw in Dark Horse, and everybody else in there. They won't hire these guys. And it's not like the newer comic book writers and stuff like that are doing a better job. They're not. Comics wouldn't be in the position that they're in at this point if they were. So basically your indie creators and are starting to be people that DC or Marvel can't hire, won't hire anymore. And they're just doing their own thing. And that's where you start to see the indie market change, because it's not your just your guy that is just drawing and writing and he just wants to create his own shit. It's people that have built up a lot of the lore and the legends of a lot of the heroes that we love today in DC and Marvel, that now it seems like they're getting casted aside, or they're getting the boot or whatever for no good reason. And they're like, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and just do our own thing. And they're leaving Image, they're leaving DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, and they're just going out there and they're doing their own thing. Then along with them is then you got your no name creators that are just people that love art, love writing comics, and just getting into it for the first time. And then you have them, and we can't dismiss them either. Just because they're newcomers and no one's never heard of them, don't mean that they can't hold their own. People just don't know who they are, and that's a big thing. Madness Comic Network says never was a big DC fan, huh? I'm a huge DC fan, very very huge DC fan. But I grew up loving Marvel and DC equally, the same. And but I understand, people have their preferences, so I definitely understand that. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, man, older Marvel indie scene, yeah, they're kicking ass. My brother Hephaestus says anything worth collecting these days are underground comics and not always easy to access. The mainstream has just gone crazy, having collected for years. Well, actually, there are some. I'm not going to say anything about Marvel so much because there's a couple things that Marvel is doing. I know they got that once of the Avengers War Across Time that I keep hearing good things about, but then that's Marvel bringing in old Avengers writers and artists from like 30, 40 years back. So, I keep hearing good things about that comic, but I'm hearing it because of who they brought back to do it. People just don't have the confidence in current day writers to tell a story like that, or to even give a shit about canon to tell the story correctly without trying to, destroy, what time period this story is supposed to take place in. So it's I don't know. It's very difficult, man. Canon is a very important thing in comic books. And when you have comic book companies or certain writers that don't give a shit about it, then it makes it feel like the lore doesn't matter. It's kind of like Star Wars. It's like you have Star Wars, you got the EU, but then you have Disney that wants to totally ignore it. It doesn't make Star Wars that exciting anymore. It's just one of those things. What's up, Zax? How's it going, brother? Hopefully everything's good with you. But there's some things going on in DC and Marvel that are worthy of talking about, and that Avengers War Across Time, that's something worthy to talk about. And I keep hearing nothing but good things. Go to the comic book store; it's sold off the shelf. You go in the first day or two, it's all taken up. People are buying it. That's what's important. Who recently went to the store and gave a shit about buying an Avengers comic like that? Not really anybody, man. But it's good to see people are back for that. I know Jeff Johns, shit, the JSA comic book and fucking the Stargirl comic book that came out. Man, I went to a comic book store to go see if that was in. Shit was sold out. Green Lantern sold out. Green Lantern #1 just came in about 3 weeks ago? 2-3 weeks ago? Shit sold out in the first like 2 days. It's like shit. Yeah, it's it's cool. It's cool to come in there. It's cool to walk into a comic book store and see Stargirl or the JSA, the Just Society of America. And people don't give a fuck about. I give a fuck about Just Society of America. I have every comic book, JSA comic book from like the mid 70s all the way to now. And I mean, hell, they haven't even been in comic books in almost a good decade. Hell, the New 52, man, they did that Earth 2 shit, but that wasn't the JSA. So the JSA, as the world really knows it, has been cut out of comics for a better part of the decade. They just came back into comic books, about 2 years ago? 2.5 years ago? The JSA? Maybe 3? Shit. But, I love the Just Side of America, man. Man, this comic networks. Let me see what you say here, brother. Says, yeah, they're doing their own thing. Mike Baron, Chuck Dixon both allow us to broadcast their shows on our network. They get it, promote and market all day long. That's awesome, man. Mike Baron, I've interviewed Mike Baron before. He's He's a very stern dude, man. He's very straight up, man. It's hard to make him laugh, man. He's a very straight up guy. I used to love his run on the Flash. He was the first one to write the Wally West Flash. What was that, back in like 97, if I'm not no, 87. Yeah, that was after the whole Legends DC Legends storyline. They gave Wally West his number one. That's when he became the Flash. Taking over after Barry Allen passed, and Crisis on Infinite Earths. So I have that whole run of the Flash, actually. The issue number one where Wally West is running on the side of a jet fighter, trying to see if he can at least hit, Mach speed. He couldn't even break the sound barrier. So, yeah, it was interesting. I love those comics. Did you see the Private American, Mike Barron's latest? Yeah, and I saw how they've been trying to shut that down too, man. Hopefully people go out to support that Private American by Mike Barron. He's a great dude. Hate that they've done that shit to him. That's fucking was it Kickstarter? Holy shit, man. Crowdfunding, they're starting to get political about who they let on their platform, and it's like shit. I don't know. It's I don't know. Hopefully he gets the success that he deserves from that. He says DC is about 1/5 of my collection. Indies is about 1/5. Marvel is the rest. But all the pre-MCU, the movies are ruining it for me. LOL. You know what? What's funny? I never understood about like Marvel and DC as a company. Look, everything starts with the comic books. All the ideas, the characters, the way they've come about. Everything has come from the comic books. And one thing I don't understand is how they're making all the money on the movie side, on the theatrical side, on the TV side of things, even video games and whatever the fuck else. And they're making all this money. But what I've never understood is how is it that they've never taken out of the billions of dollars that they've made and bring it back around to the comic book side of things and help pick things up from that end, to the point where they're making the run, they're taking the money that they've earned from the movies and putting it back into the comic book industry. Actually, it wouldn't take a lot of money to do it. And you can actually bring back your old writers that, hopefully pay off some people that you've needed to pay off. And get true writers and get true artists back into your company. Warner Brothers, the same thing. They're making all that money from the entertainment industry side of things, and they can't take some of that money and pump it back into their comic book industry, into the thing that started it all. That's really fucked up, man. And that's for DC and Marvel and whatever other company that's doing this to the comic book industry. Shame on you. It's really fucked up, man. Because I'd be damned if I'm making money off of a character and I'm not taking at least a fraction, a tenth. Do something. Take a little bit of that fucking money and pump it back into the dying industry that created these characters to begin with. You fucking sorry ass people, man. What's up, Zax? The EU was so much better than the crap they put on the screen. I wanted Rogue Squadron so bad. You know what, man? You're not the only one, man. Again, when you sit there and you take the lore and the history out of Star Wars, you basically just killed your whole brand. And to be honest, with Kathleen Kennedy, I'm just gonna say this one thing. She was the reason why not just the Galactic Star Cruiser, but Galaxy's Edge is a fucking failure. They asked her for her input into making Galaxy's Edge what it was supposed to be, and they had a choice of making it into the real Star Wars shits from Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, that kind of shit. They could have had a theme park with that into it, but she was like, "Nah, let's just make it about Rey and Poe and Finn and blah blah blah." And boom, Galactic Star Cruiser, boom, Galaxy's Edge, boom, all pieces of shit. So not only that's $2 billion, dog, you failed in numerous TV shows. Your movies ain't worth the shit. You're still gonna keep her around, and I don't know, man. I don't understand it, but shit, she ruined everything for him, and it looks like they're okay with her, ruining the rest of what they have left, which is barely anything. So, Disney and Disney and Star Wars, Lucasfilm, they get what they fucking deserve, man. So I'm not a fan of marketing reboots, that and super crossovers. It really took me out of the game. Actually, I noticed, let's say for Marvel and DC, honestly, like let's say in the last 5 years, holy shit, let's say in the last 10 years, I haven't seen anything different. Like I guess this is what I'm saying. All I've seen is if it wasn't like rebooted universes or some shit like that, it was constant storylines and crossovers that dive into every character, and sometimes they'll have a crossover that contains like the whole DC universe. They'll have two of them going at the same time. How the fuck are you gonna have two crossovers with two totally different things going on at the same time? It's like having Crisis on Infinite Earths and Infinite Crisis having going on at the same time, dealing with every fucking character in the whole DC universe, and you sitting there trying to keep up with both of them shits, man. And you got to buy the extra issues and the one shots, and it's like fuck, man. And sometimes they might have like a little 4-part miniseries. Character goes on his own fucking adventure in the midst of the fucking two crossovers that are fucking crossing each other over. And then I'll have a fucking one shot or a 4-part miniseries that you have to follow along to figure out what the fuck happened to these two people in the midst of all this bullshit. And it's like, come on, man. And then on top of that, they'll have all the fucking variant covers. They'll variant cover that shit to death. Just to see, which one is more of whatever. And it's like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Fuck. And that's the shit that I get tired of, man. So I feel you on that. Said Mike is a class act, a regular around the madness. Oh man, Mike Baron he's awesome, man. He just relaunched it on Fund My Comic. That's now I think I heard something and I haven't. Oh, thank you for that, man. I'm gonna have to look. Fund My Comic. I've seen Fund My Comic pop up lately in the last like month or so. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm definitely I'm gonna have to look into that. Thank you. That's some good news. Now that is some good news right there. Yes, invest in the core product. Look, man, and that's the thing. It's like it gets worse and worse. And it's like nothing. It's like one thing is one hand. It's like one thing is not supporting the other, which it should. You got all these rich stories, all these rich characters, fucking thousands of characters on both sides, DC, Marvel, and whoever the fuck else. They have all these characters, and dude, it's like, stop. It's like, stop not trying to put back money into, because that's the only thing, or that's the only way you're gonna get this shit to breathe. Is you gotta pump life into that shit again. And it wouldn't really take that much money to do it. Zach says 24. They're strip mining these IPs and burning the rest for clicks on Twitter. Bro, man, you took the words right out of my mouth, man. You're right about that. That's, and that's the crazy part about it. It's like, man, and that's the thing. It's like, people still love comics. People still collect comics. Look, first current day comics, I support the indies. And as far as like, let's say Marvel and DC, I'm not really a Marvel guy nowadays. I was, back, 90s, 2000. I was a Marvel kid, DC kid back then. I'm DC now. It's just I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, man. I'm just Super Friends might have been the thing that really had me. I remember the little Christmas albums that they used to put out and shit with Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman on the cover. Like Superman would, or I think Batman would have a beard on, like a fucking beard or whatever, and everybody's holding fucking Christmas, bags of toys and shit with a whole bunch of toys and kids all in the background. Like, I remember all that shit, man. I miss, that kind of shit. Super Friends was always good. And, love watching all the repeats with the superpowers and the challenge of the Super Friends and, all that stuff. Those things were, those were the things that I've actually, grew up, checking out. I miss those, and, and plus, with the comic book industry, I'm talking about all the way around. You're talking about from the comic book side of things, like from the creators all the way to like the retail side of things, comic book stores and people that are buying comics and people are selling comics. The whole retail part of it, I'd have to say between 2021 and 2022. I mean, yeah, between 2020 and 2022, between that time, everything just it collapsed. Everything fell in on itself, man, and comic book stores closed. And to be honest, that was when I actually had a chance to pick up some of the greatest comics I thought I'd never be able to pick up in my life. Because, when stores were going under, they were selling everything for like pennies on a dollar, and things that I never thought I'd ever get my hands on, I did. And I went after Golden Age Aquaman, Wonder Woman comics, Justice League. I think the earliest Justice League I have is I have issue number 18 or was it 12? Justice League issue number 12 or 18. I was like, oh shit, that's the earliest one I have. So close to issue number 1. And I told myself, I was like, well, if you can get issue 18, one day you'll knock out issue 16, and then you'll get 15 one day and 14, and you work your way on to let you know that, hey, it's possible. It's possible. And that's how I looked at it, man. And even with Aquaman, I have the majority of his 60s run of Aquaman, the first series. And there's the key issues I don't have. I don't have the first appearance of Mira. I don't have the first appearance of Ocean Master. And of course, Black Manta. Those, like those key issues, those were harder for me to get. And but I was able to get a lot of other things around those. So of course, issue number 1, those key issues. I do have the death of Aqua Baby, which is when Black Manta killed Aquaman's son. That was very controversial in comics back in the 70s. That was very huge. And then see, a lot of people don't understand why there's that one hateful thing between Black Manta and Aquaman, and they partially try to tell it in the Aquaman movie with Jason Momoa, the first movie, and that was the thing. It was Aquaman killed Black Manta's father by accident, and Black Manta took it upon himself to get revenge, but he ends up killing Aquaman's son, and he was just like what 3 years old or some shit. So just to think, you know, and they have a lot of Aquaman family comic books where it's Aquaman, Mera, Aqualad, and Aquababy. It was, you know, Arthur Curry Jr. And that was a very controversial thing. And the bad thing about it is DC covered it up after it happened, to where they don't ever mention, they haven't mentioned it after Crisis on Infinite Earths. So after Crisis on Infinite Earths, they tell stories of Aquaman, but nothing about his son that got murdered by Black Manta. And they don't know that's the reason why Aquaman hates Black Manta. You know, they both have an equal hate for each other. You know, you killed my dad. Well, nah, you killed my son. And now they pose it as it being a one-sided thing. You know, and it's like, damn, you know, it's just crazy as shit. It makes more sense behind the motivation of why Aquaman equally hates Black Manta, but they don't ever talk about it because they don't want to bring up, you know, the brutality of how this little kid, you know, baby was murdered in comics. So now I buy indies instead. I feel you, brother. He says, exactly, I only buy the titles I like. They were trying to force me to buy every title to get the whole story. Yeah, it shouldn't even be like that, man. Shouldn't even be like that, but I know. It is taking off. I actually recommend it. There you go, man. There you go. Kai, what's going on, brother? How's you doing, man? Hopefully everything's good with you. Ocean Master, lessons in baiting for professional fishermen, LOL. There you go. What's up, Pops? How's it going, man? Zax, what's up, brother? Pops, my man. I need to get you on too one day, man. You and Kai and just another red shirt, man. I need to get you guys on, man. Yeah, he did. He did suffocate the baby, man. It was pretty fucked up, man, when it happened, man. Yeah, I read on, you know, I read like back stories on how, you know, basically the public was looking at that like, oh shit, DC just killed this baby. And yeah, it was you wouldn't expect DC to pull that off, man, but they did, yeah. And you know, and he got to the point where, you know, Aquaman went to go hunt him down and the whole shit, you know. And I don't know, man. It's a tragic story. Very tragic. Kai said, yeah, I've been chilling and lurking, bro. I appreciate that, man. Everybody saying what's up to Pops. Yeah. Saying what's up to Zax. Yeah, appreciate that, Kai, man. Yeah. But yeah, it was, you know, it's been pretty grim history for Aquaman. And it seems like that's something that DC, you know, has stayed away from, you know, and not even, and it's like, and that's another thing. It's like I seen how they tried to have Aquaman taking care of like another baby, like in the last like 4 years or so of Aquaman's comic. But it's like, it's not the same thing. It's like, come on, y'all. Like, you know, don't try to put another kid in his life. And you never did bring his son back to life. Like his son got murdered in comics. And out of all the characters they could try to like resurrect or whatever, they never did try to bring back Aquaman's son. His real son. And, you know, it just, I don't know, it takes away from, you know, why these two are even fucking fighting to begin with. You know, it just, it just seems like Black Man is just mad at Aquaman, and that's it. So now they're just enemies for that reason. Now it's more to it than that. He said, I never read the whole story because it was a lot of issues. Yeah, the whole thing was a lot because it went through Aquaman comics, and Aquaman got canceled. Then it went through, I think it was either Adventure Comics or Adventures, because Aquaman went floating around for a few years after his initial title got canceled. It got canceled around issue 40 or something, 45, something like that. It got canceled, and then what was it, issue 60? It was something like that. It went for a few years. It got canceled, and then you started picking up his story that it went through Adventure Comics and I think Adventure of Superman. It was like a backstory basically. And I know in Adventure Comics it was Aquaman, Starman, and Plastic Man. They were like the three headlining characters for the comic, and that went on for like maybe a couple years. And then he ended up being in backstories for like Superman comics, and that went on for a few years. And then they gave him back his Aquaman comic again, like his original one, his original run restarted, and it went on for like maybe another year or two, and then it canceled, and that was it. And that was the first original series of Aquaman. Pop says Adventure Comics, yeah. Just another red shirt, my brother. Man. There we go. All right. All right. Sorry, y'all. I'm having a tad bit of difficulty, but starting to straighten out now. All right, here we go. I don't know what happened. It's just some weird stuff. Come on. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Shit. It's just computer's acting up. Yeah. We got to talk, man. I could type here till my fingers bleed. LOL. Nah, you're good, man. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. I have to dip out. I'll be driving and listening, then getting ready for Talk Hard. Stay strong, brother. Hey, Pops, man. Hopefully I get a chance to stream with you again, man. I would love to get down with you sometime, man. I appreciate that, man. Hell, red shirt, my man. Yeah, man. Be safe, Pops, while you drive. But yeah, I love I love talking comic books. That's that's always been my thing, man. Hopefully, I'd get a chance to talk, with you, and there's like Kai MFS. I mean, he's a hell of an author, man. Love to get a chance to sit down and talk with him, and just different creators. Like just another red shirt, and even yourself, Madness. I would love to get a chance to talk to all of y'all. This is what it's all about, man. It's all about us, man, and each other, man. Definitely like to see, what motivates y'all, what drives y'all to do what y'all do. It's all kind of exciting things to find out from y'all. So I'm looking forward to it. But I tell you what, guys, I definitely got to get ready to dip up out of here in about an hour. I gotta start working, and I'll be doing some demolition work. I got the trusty sledgehammer, and I'll be knocking some shit out. So Madness Comic Network says networking is key, bouncing fan bases off each other. That is the vision. You know what, man? That's a hell of a vision right there, brother. And I look forward to talking to you about it more. Actually, hopefully within the next week, I'll be reaching out to quite a few people here. That's already in the chat, and would like to get you all on, at some point, in the next few weeks, within the month. I know June's right around the corner, so definitely for June, I would definitely love to get a hold of, as many of y'all as, because it's actually the whole chat is nothing but YouTubers, man. So I would love to get everybody on at some point and talk to y'all, man. So I'll be doing a lot of interviewing, man. I'll definitely be doing that. Y'all never seen me in interview mode, but hell, I never. Let's see how well I do, right? But cool. Looking forward to it. Man, me too, man. I'm looking forward to it as well. So, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. But I want to tell each and every one of y'all, thank y'all for being here, supporting your boy, looking out for me, and to spending time with me. I didn't know what today was gonna bring, but you guys started off my day in a great way, man. And I'm thankful for all of y'all, for it. Shit, man. Without each and every one of y'all, I wouldn't even be here. So just want to say thank y'all for coming and supporting the channel, man, and just being here, kicking it with me, and I'm very thankful. So Madness Comic Networks, thank you. Kai MFS, my brother, appreciate you. Zax, thank you, my brother. I just don't know, man. I really appreciate you. Hefacious, man, thank y'all. Yeah, and please hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate it. Thank y'all. Every little bit helps. And thank you, Hefacious, for having my back. Pops, appreciate you. Just another red shirt. Thank you for being here, my brother. Sure miss you, man. Miss streaming with you, man. See, hopefully I'm not missing anybody. I don't want to miss anyone. Man, if I miss anybody, blame my eyes, not my heart. Appreciate y'all. Psychodorf 9. Low Spec Linux laptop. My brother, thank you. All right. And that is it, man. Hopefully I got everybody. Lady Miss. Oh, you thank you. You're always, oh man. Lady Miss, you are awesome. Thank you. You always surprise me. You just never, I never know when you're here or not, but Lady Miss always looks out for me. And thank you so much for being here, Lady Miss. I appreciate you. Thank y'all, everybody. You guys have a great day. And hopefully I'll see y'all around, hopefully this time tomorrow, because I got to go back to work tomorrow night as well. So I love you guys. Take care. Y'all be safe. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all. Thank you, Lady Miss, and the Face Chits and everybody else, man. You guys are awesome.